Hey everybody, welcome to the Power Hour of Love. I'm Charboil and this is
El Bandito.
Oh, I gotta tell you something, El Bandito. I'm so excited for tonight, man. I gotta tell them what's going on tonight, brother.
Oh man, we have got an action-packed night for you guys tonight because we are the Power Hour of Love Ringside, baby. That's right, we've got a solid hour of wrestling infotainment coming at you, man. We've got some cool reviews, some previews of some upcoming events, both live and on TV and stuff, and on pay-per-view and all sorts of other places. And in a very special second half of the segment tonight, we have got the Ringside Rewind, where we're going to take you guys back across some classic matches throughout history and test your guys' knowledge, right, on these iconic matches throughout history, man. So I'll give away a hint. They're all kind of WWE related, but they own like everything now, so it's not WWE related, right? So it's pretty popular stuff. You guys are going to know what it is. We're going to have a good time doing it. We've also got some awesome PoDunk news tonight, man. Some wild, crazy stuff has happened this week. You want to tease them a little bit about it, Senor Bull?
Oh, you know it, man. Just want to say one more thanks to the Horror Mafia podcast that joined us last week, and we had so much fun with those guys. And, man, they totally got us ready and prepared for Friday the 13th that happened this past weekend. And, man, I'm just telling you, there's a lot of crazy stuff that went down, man. But one thing I really enjoyed, man, was the Joe Bob Briggs last drive-in. We're going to have more to tell you guys about Joe Bob and all the crazy antics that went on for 24 hours over there on the Shudder Network.
Absolutely, guys. That's coming up in the PoDunk news. But, like we said, first and foremost, man, we got some wrestling that we're going to do tonight, man. We're super psyched about it. We're big wrestling fans. We know a lot of you beautiful people out there. You're big wrestling fans. So without any further ado, let's get into some wrestling action.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I love this logo, man. Like Al Bandito said, every once in a while, we like to talk about, some wrestling that's going on, local events, WWE, the indies, man. We love it all, man. So we got this over here, our own segment here called Ringside. If you guys know some wrestling fans out there, be sure to go ahead and tag them in the comments, share it to their wall. Man, just let's get everybody in here and have some good wrestling fun.
Heck yeah, we know Raw's going on right now and stuff like that too. But hey, man, you got a TV and a computer and a phone. We know you got all that stuff, man. So hook it up, have some fun with us while you're watching in between breaks or something like that. Chris Hall saying, "What's up out there?" Party man Will in his house.
Oh, yeah. the Undertaker will. We know that's Will Reynolds' favorite wrestler, The Undertaker.
First and foremost, man, we got to start off with our most breaking news of the night. Hulk Hogan reinstated into the WWE Hall of Fame, man. Like, we didn't even have time to put together a slide for it because we were blindsided by that, man, because it's been a while now, and they had plenty of good occasions and things like that to bring him back. I'm not really sure what spurned it at this point, but what do you got for us on that, Senor Bull?
Well, from what I've read, Hulk Hogan came out last night to Extreme Rules, which is one of WWE's many pay-per-views, and, he sat down with the locker room, and he kind of apologized for some of the things he had said in the past, and got to talking to the talent of today. Also, some of those other guys have worked with him in the past, so they kind of just mended the ways Hogan apologized for things they said. Now it just looks like they're looking to this point forward, kind of like, okay, we're going to kind of let that be the past and now celebrate the man, the myth, the legend. If you're talking about Hulk Hogan, the American hero, the Hollywood Hulk Hogan, when Hogan went bad, it was just.
I mean, despite anything you want to say about Hulk Hogan and like something bad that he did or said or whatever, it's still like, the guy kind of made wrestling a household thing.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he really popped it huge in the late 70s, early 80s there. And, I mean, it wouldn't be what it is today without him.
Oh, no question. It, man. I mean, it's just like he really brought it to superstardom. Yeah. And I think that's what they've kind of said where, like, there would still be a WWE, but it wouldn't be where it is today without Hulk Hogan. So awesome. Looking forward to seeing Brother on TV soon. I don't know if he's going to be at Raw tonight. Supposedly it was just kind of like a behind-the-scenes thing. And, of course, they filmed it for the WWE Network, so they could put together a special later. But, yeah, it's just good to hear that Hogan's back in the Hall of Fame. And I'm sure we'll be seeing him real soon.
No doubt. Now, Chris Hall, he's up north, right? I wonder, was he anywhere near that mall that used to have Hogan's, his it was like an Italian restaurant.
Oh gosh, yeah, there you go. Yeah. What was that called? Like, Hogan's Pasta or something like that.
It had some really cheesy name that was weird because it's hard to think how Italian food ain't exactly the healthiest food in the world. I doubt you could eat a bunch of it and have a wrestler's physique. But also too, he's like the all-American guy, but he's repping Italian food. Like, have a hamburger joint or something, man. What are you doing? So,
absolutely, man. Yeah, definitely throw it down in there, Chris, if you've ever been to that restaurant. I think it's in like the Mall of America or something like that.
Yeah, isn't that in Michigan or something?
I think it's up there in that area. I think it's in Milwaukee.
Never heard of it. It's probably because it sucked.
Oh, man. Fred's in the house. Fred M. What's going on, man?
Down
man,
there.
I'm telling you, I know me and Fred watched a lot of great matches back in the day, and I know one of Fred's favorite wrestlers was the Ultimate Warrior, man. Ultimate Warrior. Oh, I know. Yeah, be careful, man. Don't Warrior out there, man. Definitely rest in peace, Ultimate Warrior. We missed you, buddy.
Yeah. We're gonna throw some love for the Ultimate Warrior.
Do it. Oh yeah, man. All right, man. So first and foremost, we're gonna talk a little bit about this big event that went down last night.
Yeah, why not?
Let's do it.
Let's talk about Extreme Rules.
What I've always liked about this event, they try to like rekindle the thing that was ECW and like actually have like matches that are a little more dangerous than regular.
Yeah.
They didn't actually have like an extreme match though last night, but they did have a cage match and they did have a 30-minute Iron Man match, which I think is still cool. But, man, come on. You guys got to get up there with that Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels 60-minute, right?
No, I have to say I do like that they qualified it by saying rules.
Yes.
Because if they were like Extreme Night or Extreme Wrestling or something like that, we'd be like, nah, bro. Like, you outed that a long time ago. And, there's no more chair shots to the face until some guy's bloody and gets taken out on a gurney, which is fine. If that's not the route you want to go, that's fine. But there's no more like flaming ring ropes and exploding barbed wire and thumbtack. There's none of that stuff. So, but it is Extreme Rules, so it's outside the normal rules of their completely campy wrestling rules that they have that make no freaking sense sometimes. And I only say that, and I know that you'll back me up on this because of the count out.
Yeah.
Like sometimes they totally enforce the count out and other times they don't at all even start to count. And that's so inconsistent that it drives me crazy.
It should be consistent. Oh, we got Steve Z over here saying PG era WWE blows. Oh, hey Heather, how's it going, man? We're here talking about wrestling and all kinds of different events. I know Heather likes to go out and rock out some of those awesome shows around town. Well, we got some wrestling shows to tell you about later. That's some real crazy action's going to be going down. But first, we're talking about this Extreme Rules. We're going to get right through it because we got some other wild stuff to tell you guys. But first thing I wanted to mention was that Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Jeff Hardy last night to win the U.S. title.
Yeah, I like Jeff Hardy. Has he been doing this Sting thing for a while where he's just going black and white? But I liked that look for him. I thought it was pretty cool.
Oh, you know it, man. I know you're not a super fan of Shinsuke Nakamura, but he's gone heel.
Yeah, I mean, if he just walked around punching dudes in the nuts, I'm like, it doesn't exactly seem like the most skilled fighter.
Which is where I think you're gonna really win on this one, man. This match was only 6 seconds long. Nakamura low blowed Jeff Hardy and got the pin.
Yeah, and then didn't Randy Orton come out there and also pummeled Jeff Hardy's balls for a little bit?
I think so. I think everybody just had a thing on Jeff Hardy's balls last night.
I don't know.
They wanted to make that black and white as well, just like his face paint.
Pretty black and white that everyone hates Jeff Hardy, apparently.
Oh, man, Justin K's in the house. We know you know about some wrestling out there.
I know. Justin K, put in the comments if you won the skin for that free ship that I sent you, man. I got one. I'm super stoked. Party Man Will, I know I sent it to you, too. It was a contest for a video game thing. We'll talk about it some other time.
That's okay. Well, I don't know if you guys defeated anybody in that game, but, man, we got to talk about that. Lashley defeated Roman Reigns.
Yes.
I know that'll get you excited.
I know. Can we go ahead and give some love to Roman Reigns there?
Oh, man, I got to tell you.
I finally got these things fixed. I got to use them a bunch.
I know. That's awesome. Well, Bobby Lashley, he's pretty much like Brock Lesnar, but this big black dude, he came out and he just tore it up, man. And of course, they, got him up against Roman Reigns, which, it's like 50-50. Some people hate him. Some people really like him, but man, he got squashed.
He stinks. He stinks. Sometimes they bring in a great big guy to fight another great big guy, but like the original great big guy, like Brock Lesnar, has, and I can't even believe I'm going to say this, has a certain amount of skill and talent and stuff. He exhibits none of this in the WWE. I know he does in like MMA fighting and stuff. But the WWE, you're just suplexing people. Like anybody could do that. But when they bring in another guy just to fight him, usually that guy has less skill. Like they just tried to find some giant person to make it look believable that guy could even get beat. So the fact that he came in there and just kicked the crap out of Roman Reigns and did it with a modicum of style, I'm pretty excited about. Like,
exactly.
I'm behind this guy now, because Roman Reigns, yeah, man, we needed to see him get squashed back a little bit. His heel turn didn't work out very good. He wasn't very exciting.
It was deadpan. It kind of just hit there. It's like, come on, man.
I'm telling you, I still believe in let's get him knocked unconscious, and then he awakens, and they tell him his name is Roman Reigns, and he believes he's a Roman emperor. Only ever wears a toga, tries to sell Caesar dressing, and pours it on people after he beats them.
You should write this storyline.
It's so good.
We got to
that would totally happen in the '80s.
It would have. Oh, absolutely. Well, it looks like. It isn't final yet, but it looks like it will be Lashley versus Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam. So, they're going to do some matches in between and pretend like it ain't going to happen. But come on, man. We know it's coming.
Look, I like Steve Z's putting down the knowledge there. He's saying that, Roman won a triple threat tonight for a chance to face Lesnar at SummerSlam. Justin K., I'm sorry you didn't get the ship thing, man. What a jip. I don't know what happened there. I'm going to write those people a nasty letter.
Give it to them. Give him the Superman punch.
Yeah.
That seems to get things done.
Also,
they retired the Undertaker.
Yeah, right.
Undertaker will.
But Steve Z is also saying that Jeff Hardy was injured going into the match. And I think that's why
okay. So they kind of
fudged
cut it short.
I figured Jeff Hardy came out there, and then Eric Bischoff had told him in gorilla position that Nakamura was actually totally high on drugs, so he had to end the match very quickly. Oh no, that was Jeff Hardy and Sting.
Yeah. That's when
That's why he can wear his mask like that now.
Well, moving on.
Such a mess, Jeff Hardy.
Yeah, he's bad.
Love him though. Love the guy.
Oh, he's a crazy athlete.
He's a legend. Yeah.
But the next match we want to talk about is that Dolph Ziggler won the Intercontinental title by defeating Seth Rollins in a 30-minute Iron Man match. Now, one thing I really like about this is that it was the main match of the night. It was the main event. Yeah. And you don't really see the Intercontinental title get that kind of attention. And I'm glad that they're bringing that back. So I definitely think that's very cool. And I like Dolph Ziggler.
I have to say, I'm not usually a big fan of Seth Rollins because he seems like the mini-me to Roman Reigns. But I actually saw him, and was like, dude, this is the best I've seen Seth Rollins. Not at Extreme Rules, but I was watching a video on YouTube where he was talking about video games, and I was like, this guy seems pretty cool.
There you go. Now you can relate to him. Yeah. I saw him one time do a moonsault off of like a really big fat guy.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that? Yes. The guy's standing there and he does like a moonsault off him?
Yeah, he jumps off his belly and does a moonsault.
Yeah, pretty
cool.
Sick. But so I'm glad that they're giving the Intercontinental title the attention that it deserves. Because, man, talk about, WrestleMania 10, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon in the ladder match for the Intercontinental title. Best match.
Oh, yeah. All time best Intercontinental match ever. Pretty much up there for all time, got to be top 10 greatest matches of all time.
Oh, man. Kelly is in the house. Kelly Jade. How's it going, Kelly? We're talking about wrestling, which we know might not be your favorite thing, but stick around because we have some fun coming at you.
And we got the boss himself, Justin Jordan, out there joining us.
Oh, man. Oh, he survived Friday the 13th, man. We didn't check
I'm surprised.
Oh, we didn't check in with Justin. I was a little worried. I was like,
I don't check in with him because then things are that's going to happen. Like, I'm the guy that calls and I'm like, Justin, are you okay? And then before you know it, boom, I got the McPatch's slasher cutting me up.
Well, man, there's not another Friday the 13th until September of next year. So don't worry, Justin. We're going to get you in before then. But, man, definitely hope everything went good. Hope you had a great time. Hope you got to check out some Joe Bob and the last drive. And we're going to talk more about that in a little bit. But we got more wrestling. And what a great time because we got Captain Joel in the house. Joel-a-mania. What are we talking about next now, Bandito?
Oh, man, we got so much good stuff. What's up, Captain Joel out there? Man, Kelly Jade, we love you, girl. Thanks for stopping in. Doing her little heart thing.
Yeah, definitely. I love that.
I know. That's why I put her in the promo.
Throw Kelly Jade some love.
Throw some love right there. That's
there you go. There you go. She's like, stop talking about me, guys.
I know. She's going to leave now.
Hey, she said hello. But, all right, what's next?
What's next, man? Well, that's enough Extreme Rules. If you guys are big wrestling fans, you watched it. So let's talk about the Atomic Revolutionary Wrestling. right?
Yes.
This is formerly the AWE.
Yes.
Which was Atomic Wrestling Entertainment. So they've rebranded a little bit here, but man, they are bringing the same action, the same intensity. Look, they got Tommy Dreamer up there, man.
He's coming back.
I know, the freaking that was, but he's my my chicken tenders buddy, man.
Dude, there you go.
I was getting chicken tenders, and I seen him, and I locked eyes with him, and I was like, and he was like, I was like, bro, these tenders are the best because I met Tommy Dreamer.
There you go, man. They had that Tommy flavor on them. Bleed on me, Tommy.
Bleed on me, Tommy.
He bled a little bit into your chicken tenders. But Tommy Dreamer, the innovator of Extreme, we saw him a few months ago, man, and him and Jesse Neal just tore it up, man. They went throughout the whole, building and just fought all over, put trash cans on each other, bashed it. I'm sure when he returns on July 25th, to do some battle, it's going to be wild. But also, Tyson Kidd is also going to be there, which I'm pretty stoked about. That's actually Natalia, from the Hart family.
Yeah.
That's her husband.
Oh,
so
nice.
Who knows? Natalia might even be popping up in there.
No doubt. And, okay, so Adam Rose. Who's Adam Rose?
Adam Rose. Remember he came out and he was, dancing and he had his, entourage with him.
Yes.
And he'd fall, and he was he'd put like a sucker into people's mouths.
Yeah, lollipop.
Yeah, lollipop. Yeah. But yeah, look at that. Steve Z's excited. Joel's over here throwing it up. Definitely, man. No, this is going to be a great event. Like we said, it's taking place on July 25th at the Space Coast Convention Center. And man, there's just even the local guys, man, just tear it up.
Oh, yeah, man. People are giving it 110% out here, so you guys got to go out there and check it out. The venue's nice, man. Every time we walk in there, there's at least one person you overhear being like, dude, the ceiling in here is so short. and it is. Like, a wrestler can get up on the turnbuckle and touch the ceiling, but that's kind of cool, because that means we all get kind of a really good close-up view of what's going on. And, man, the layout's really nice. It's easy to move around in there. The first time we went, they put 10,000 chairs in there. We were like, oh, my God. But they got that sorted, so it's really nice. Like I said, the food is actually amazing, okay? Yes, my chicken tenders were enhanced by a personal Tommy Dreamer experience, but they were still pretty damn good chicken tenders to begin with. So it's a great place, great venue, man. If you guys want to check out a local show, it's not terribly expensive. What is it, $15 or $20?
Yeah, well, I think it's $20 for general admission. I think it's $30 if you want ringside, which constitutes the first 3 rows.
Yeah. So man, to see a live show that you're going to see for what was it, 3 hours?
Exactly, and they bring it. It's not, you're not going to just be sitting there being bored. They're going to get in your face. They're gonna be in the crowd freaking throwing it up, man. They're like the new age Extreme.
No doubt. Yeah, go back and check out some of our other AWE ARW reviews, and you'll see videos that we took being 10 feet away from Badass Billy Gunn as he was walking through the crowd there. And man, it's awesome. It's a great experience. So we hope to see you guys out there.
Absolutely. What's next, Bandito?
We're moving on.
We're moving on, man.
I was just reminiscing.
You're like, man, I love that wrestling event.
Well, we
man.
got to talk about that heel we were just talking about earlier, Brock Lesnar, man. What's he up to, Senior Bull? So
Brock Lesnar, he hasn't shown up in the WWE really much lately, but he did show up in the UFC. Last... not last weekend, but the weekend before, there was a big title fight. This one dude who's the light heavyweight was taking on the heavyweight, man, and this guy actually holds both titles now.
Nice.
It's DC is his name. I don't know his full, but I know he goes by DC, which made me laugh. I don't even know why. But he calls out Brock Lesnar after the match, and Brock's in the front row, and he comes into the octagon. And they kind of do this little shove match, but they have big smiles on their faces.
Yeah.
And then Brock's like, "I want you, motherfucker." And I mean, I'm just saying it because I'm quoting Brock. While I was like, wow, this is really pro wrestling. I know a lot of people that watch UFC were like, the hell is this? Don't bring this circus show here, But I think it's, it's a good cross branding kind of thing. The kind of you can either bring the guy to WWE now and have a not so dangerous match, or have Lesnar go there, and I don't know.
I don't know one way or the other. All I know is it just makes me crave some Jimmy John's.
And it's what's really funny is to read like what the other UFC fighters are saying.
Okay.
Like they hate this. Like they think it's terrible. They're like, get that shit out of here. Like they're like, man, like this guy hasn't been here in 2 years. Like when he was last year, they suspended him because he had like, taken some performance enhancers.
Yeah.
So I know like they don't. But honestly though, it's good for the business. Not that UFC I think was hurting or anything, but I mean they're kind of bringing these two things together. They can kind of go anywhere with it. Now tonight, breaking news, I heard that Lesnar was supposed to be in the building at Raw, but he wasn't there. So Angle was going to strip him of the title, the Universal title he's held for the last like 200 years.
Oh man!
But
all right, so anybody keeping an eye out, man, you better be posted down there. Let us know what happens.
Well, I'm going to tell you, man. He was going to strip him, but then Heyman said, no, Brock wants to walk into UFC wearing the WWE's title. So it is, you could tell this is kind of like a big kind of work between the two companies.
Now, if only UFC could get Ronda Rousey back, then the circle would be complete.
Oh man, thanks, Big Stevie, saying that my beard is epic. I mean, back in the day, I remember like Brock had a beard, and I was like, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna kind of go for that,
You're looking like Sheamus over there, man. You got to shave the sides of your head.
There you got my little mohawk up top. There you go. But yeah, so we'll see what happens with this. Brock's possibly going to fight this guy. I don't know, man. Lesnar's a big, strong dude, but supposedly this guy can really kick ass. So
I mean, as far as UFC's concerned, like I get it. It's the more legitimized sport because obviously the matches aren't predetermined. Everyone.
Sure.
They're actually fighting. They're actually getting hurt and stuff like that. So it's a much more aggressive sport, but there's no showmanship to it. So it's the same thing like boxing just got boring when there was no showmanship.
Yeah.
Then you got guys like Ali and Foreman who came in with all the showmanship, and it made the sport popular again. And then there's always going to be that core audience of people who either like the brutality of it or who like the showmanship. And I think that keeping those two worlds separated is fine because they don't mix super well because you end up disappointing one group or the other.
Sure.
So I don't know how I super feel about it.
You know what? I think I can put a thing to it. Like all of the like UFC fans that like the blood and gore and just the fighting of UFC, they look like Ivan Drogo did in Rocky IV when like Apollo Creed was like, dancing with his like.
Yes, I'm very much an Apollo Creed guy. I want to come out dressed like Uncle Sam,
Absolutely.
Killed in the ring.
Oh man, Baby Joey's in the house. How's it going,
What's
Baby
up?
Joey? Horror Mafia.
Table.
Oh yeah, with a little antipasta and linguine on it. Absolutely, man. Well, let's keep this thing rolling, man. We got some other wild stuff to tell you about.
All right, we got to tell you guys about the All-In event, man. Now, this sounds pretty awesome.
It is, man, because like you said, like while WWE is like the big dogs, Captain, but these indie guys, man, are really trying to make it happen. I mean, I guess I should say that the guy that's leading them is Cody Rhodes, son of the legendary Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
But he's also teamed up with Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks, which we reported on, earlier this year to be like, man, you guys got to keep your eyes out for these dudes because they're doing some crazy stuff. Well, the way it goes down is that they're putting together this big event in Chicago. And how it got started is Dave Meltzer of Pro Wrestling Illustrated, who's like very well-known, renowned, writer who actually does. Remember, we were talking about those numbered matches where like, oh, this match is a 4.5. He kind of helps put into that.
Okay.
He bet and he said, man, Ring of Honor or any of the guys that aren't WWE cannot fill a place with 10,000 seats.
Okay, so these guys took it as a challenge.
They took the dare, and Cody said, I'll take that challenge. And he got Omega and the Young Bucks, and they've been putting it together. And so far, they have sold out the arena, and there's definitely 10,000 seats there. Now, there's like the exciting thing about this, I mean, some people that are all WWE heads are like, it don't matter. It ain't nothing. That ain't nothing on WWE's radar. But the thing is that this is the biggest indie event in the United States since the 1980s.
Yeah.
We're talking bigger than TNA, bigger than ECW. Like this is kind of a big deal if it really pans out. Another thing is it's taking place in Chicago.
Yeah.
So a lot of people think that it might mark the return of CM Punk to wrestling. So, he tried his thing in UFC.
Yeah.
That didn't last too long.
No, but I think Captain Joel out there, he's got a point. He says all these guys wrestle great. Then when they come to the WWE, they got to dumb down what they're doing.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
a lot of times take like a dumb persona to try to fit into sort of the storyline. And it does. It almost seems like they're trying to treat these guys like they're green, but a little too green.
Yeah, even Ronda Rousey, they're kind of making her like almost she doesn't know what she's doing. But, man, that girl could freaking
destroy half the people in there, probably.
And we love the girl wrestlers. We think they're women wrestlers. I'm sorry, the female wrestlers.
Yeah.
They're awesome.
Chick wrestlers.
The chicks, man.
Yeah.
But dude, it's just you gotta ease it back a little bit. They'll end up ripping arms out of the sockets.
Oh, totally, man. Because much love to all the ladies in the locker room back there because they are just badass chicks by comparison to a lot of the, kind of ring girls who would just we're just there for eye candy. The kind of the valets.
Yes.
They're so beyond that. I mean,
Sunny, Sable. Well, Sable got in there, but she couldn't really wrestle.
Yeah, but come on.
Luna Vachon could kick ass, though. She was awesome.
There was always one or two ladies out there that could really throw down. But to see the pool of talent that they have and really the wrestling that they can do, but then there's still that thing of like, I don't care what anyone says. I think knockdown, drag out fight, dude. I think Ronda Rousey just rips the arms off Alexa Bliss and beats her to death with them.
That's true. Well, yeah, especially Alexa, man. She's like a little doll, But kind of, definitely you guys should check out All In. Read up about it if you're a wrestling fan. It's just something that's exciting that's going on that isn't WWE related. And I mean, we know some people say, "Well, it's Cody Rhodes." Like, he actually can't use the last name Rhodes. Because of WWE, like,
that's
own
nice.
it. Yeah, I know. I mean, his dad like had that all figured out. Because wherever he went, he was Dusty Rhodes. He probably wasn't the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, but he was still Dusty Rhodes.
Yeah.
But the whole thing is his dad was a promoter and a booker and stuff, so he's got this in his blood. So, but Goldust is still hanging out in WWE. But anyhow, moving on, we're going to tell you guys this next event isn't all the way up in Chicago. This next one's right in Orlando.
Absolutely, guys. We're talking about that wrestling event. You know the one. Yes, that wrestling event, right? Hosted, of course, by Kevin Nash and the Razor Ramon himself.
Scott Hall, man. Oh, love him.
What an amazing team of super cool guys to have kind of met through wrestling, become super good friends, and just carry it on to this point. You're like, that's awesome, where they're kind of having their own little wrestling fun. So why don't you tell the folks what they can expect at this event?
Man, well, this is going down in Orlando at the Hilton Orlando on July 21st. So this upcoming Saturday, man, you can see, meet, and talk to probably, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, Eric Bischoff. I mean, I'm sure he's got some stories to tell.
Oh, dude.
Jake the Snake, one of our favorites, man. Probably one of the nicest wrestlers we've met so far.
Throw Jake some love right there.
Oh, you know it, man. Such a great guy. Gangrel, the Vampire Warrior, man.
Yeah.
I mean, we saw him a few months ago wrestling.
Yeah, he was an animal. He was a beast, dude. Like, you want to talk about people who the WWE didn't let off the chain? Like, watching that guy wrestle in person, you're like, holy crap, that dude's a badass.
You know it, man. I mean, I almost think we might need the party power hour up to this event just to have an impact up there. You guys let us know if you think that's a good idea. But man, also another reason why I think we should go is because, we got BB Cornette right here, and I think we need to introduce him to Jim Cornette, who's going to be in the house. And also Chris Masters. If you were a fan of WWE in like the early 2000s, you always knew there was this guy, big buff dude, man. He'd say, "I'm gonna do the Master Lock Challenge," and it was a full Nelson. That's what he'd put the guys in, but they couldn't break it, and he'd put them to sleep. Audience members.
Yeah.
I thought it was kind of cool. It was very reminiscent to like DiBiase bouncing the ball and knocking it away from the kid and stuff. But yeah, more on Jim Cornette, man. Yeah, I mean that guy always has something to say.
Dude, his show that he does is so good. It's just, I couldn't say enough good things about it. It's a super ton of fun. If you're a wrestling fan, but you want to hear a little bit of that behind the scenes action and the old world stories and things like that, from a very animated character there, he's definitely the person you want to check out. And Justin K down here talking about Jake the Snake, man. Yeah, he's getting up there. He's getting up there, but we met him at a couple of appearances, and he's just a super nice guy. He's definitely not going to be wrestling at this event.
No.
You know, these guys are, a lot of them are doing meet and greets, but they will have wrestling from some younger guys.
Yes.
That are going to be there. We talked about them again in at the Convention Mania episode we did maybe like 3 episodes ago. I know they got a girl out there. What's her name? Rosemary?
Oh, yeah.
It looks like
she's
some
wild.
gothic witch doctor or something. I was like, holy crap, I got to see this chick, man.
But yeah, the Q&A with Jake the Snake and Jim Cornette is actually open to the public, man. So,
dude, I love Steve Z. He's like that DDP yoga, though.
I'm telling you, I think we need to do DDP yoga like right here on the Power Hour. If you guys think that's a good idea, throw that in the comments.
I did some DDP yoga with this girl once, but
I
don't think it was the Diamond Dallas Page kind.
But absolutely, man. Well, definitely that's, like El Bandito was saying earlier, man, we got all these awesome events coming up. But why don't you tell them a little about what we're going to be doing in the second segment that everyone can interact with?
Oh, absolutely, guys. This is going to be a ton of fun. We're playing a very special game tonight. It's called the Ringside Review. We're going to take you guys back in time and show you some slides of the most iconic, most legendary WWE moments. But we're going to take out one of the wrestlers, and we're going to see if you guys can figure out who the missing opponent is, when it took place, what event it took place at, and where it took place at. Did I say where twice? When and where? Who, what, where, when, and sometimes why. You guys know what I'm talking about. We're going to figure it all out on the other side of the break. We're going to have a super ton of fun with that.
But first up, man, we got to dive into the, not DDP yoga, but the PoDunk news.
Absolutely, guys. So let's head on over to the newsroom, and we'll tell you guys about some hot stuff going down.
Oh, yeah.
PoDunk news.
Oh, man, I got to tell you, man, like, PoDunk news the past couple of weeks, I mean, it has just been filled with so much nerddom that I am stoked. Like, I always look forward to talking about PoDunk news, but, man, I just think the last few weeks, like, we've been getting a real thing pouring in of just, like, all kinds of things, all things nerdy.
No doubt, man. We've been on a roll with a lot of good luck stuff and a lot of like really neat stories out there. So let's just dive right in, man, because we've got some cool comic stories, some cool nerd stories, man, and some cool horror stories.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, first up, last week we talked about the almighty Batman and Catwoman's not so happy wedding.
Yeah.
But, man, things do not stay quiet in Gotham for long. Jason Todd may have just killed the Penguin in the comics.
Iced out, bro. Now, permadeath is a very topic in comics, because it rarely ever happens, especially to an iconic character that's been around for 70-plus years. But it's not looking good.
Yeah,
for
Oswald.
for Mr. Cobblepot there, right?
Yeah. Well, apparently he took a blast from Jason Todd, who's the Red Hood in the current comics, from from his gun point blank in the face, man. So
yeah, he showed up here just kicking the crap out of Oswald. This was in the what are they called?
Outsiders?
Outsiders,
yes,
the Outsiders comic, and yeah, they got a hold of Cobblepot. Jason Todd, the Red Hood was like, bro, people like you don't deserve it, and Cobblepot just taunted him right in the face, saying heroes don't kill people. And Jason Todd, with a gun right up to his face on live TV, they say he was being filmed by something, blows the monocle apart right out of his eye. So things aren't looking good.
Things aren't looking good. Now, we did some research on the DC database online, and it puts Oswald Cobblepot in critical condition. So that might be a little hint that maybe we haven't seen the last of the Penguin. But it looks like you said, I mean, the next issue, we could find out now. Yeah. In the very end of the issue, why don't you tell them what the last few panels display?
The almighty Batman shooting out to go catch the Red Hood and to stop him because apparently now he's a murderer and he broke Batman's one rule. Don't go out there and kill people, which I'm pretty sure the Red Hood did a whole bunch anyways. But this is a big deal because Batman's like, dude, I know that guy. We're not really friends, but I know him from work. So
I think it is kind of one of those things where the Penguin's a bad guy, but it's almost like Punisher rules, or he's not exactly he probably wasn't exactly doing the most. He doesn't have bona fide proof that he was doing a shitty thing at that moment.
Yeah. Now my thought on it though is that he's gonna come back with like some kind of robotic eye. because it's going to kind of look like the monocle, but now I give him like actual powers for once.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking they're driving at with that. I love Chris Hall's comment though. He says it used to be only Bucky stayed dead. What it took him. If you want to count from 1945, then you got 45, 55, 65, 75, 85, 95, 2005. So 70 years Bucky was dead. That's still got to be a record.
Yeah.
Ed Brubaker brought him back in the Winter Soldier story in 2005.
Uncle Ben's still dead. I mean, we're just saying.
Hey, that's true. That's a good point. Uncle Ben's still dead.
Now, why don't you tell everyone where they can go pick up these issues of The Outsiders and stuff so they can find out the fate of Oswald Cobblepot?
Guys, don't wait long. Don't wait till it gets buried in some back issue and is impossible to find. Go find it on the nice, big, beautiful new comic book wall up at Big Dog Comics and Thunderdome Gaming, man. Go down there. Tell Captain Joel the Power Hour sent you. Woo, 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 woo. And he will hook you guys up with not only that issue, but whatever other cool stuff you are looking for. And by hook up, I mean find it for you and help you pay for it, not give it to you.
Hey, you never know with Captain, though, man. He might throw something neat in there that only you can find at Big Dog Comics because nobody has it all, but they come close.
No doubt, man. And, we have to thank him again for all the wonderful prizes we give away on this show, like our Rocket Raccoon promotional figure that we've seen him give away to other people because they bought so much money. He's like, here, take some free stuff because you're awesome. Thank you. And you're like, dude, that's so nice. He doesn't have to do it, but he does because he's a super cool guy. It's a super cool place to hang out. Like we said, go down there, tell him the Power Hour sent you. I'm sure he'll be like, you guys are riffraff. Get out of here.
Well, that's a crazy story. The next story is definitely sad as well. Don't worry, we're gonna definitely pick this up after this next story. But we wanted to put it in there because we didn't get a chance to slide it in earlier.
We didn't, man. But we definitely want to acknowledge Steve Ditko and his passing, his amazing work, and all that he did. I mean, obviously, he was the co-creator of Spider-Man, drawing the first issue here. With Spider-Man in it. So just a legend in his own right, done so many other things beyond that. We know we've mentioned him before in some of our other, history segments that we've done on comic books.
Oh, yeah.
90 years old. So
he lived a good life.
Yeah,
definitely.
Noted recluse. He didn't like speaking to the media or anything like that, but super great guy, super great contributions to the comic book world. So just a shout out and more of a moment of remembrance for a legend. So
you know it, man. And anytime I've ever heard Stan Lee talk about Spider-Man, he's always given Steve Ditko his due.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Unlike Bob Kane.
No doubt, man. Something funny is in all the research that I have done for the different history segments that we've done on comics, mainly the Marvel ones, I actually ran across a deposition that was, the legal transcription of his court appearance when they were arguing the case for who actually created a lot of the characters.
Oh, okay.
And it's available for free online. You can find it and you can read through it. And the way that Stan Lee speaks with such enthusiasm and love for the co-creators of every book he worked on, whether it's Bill Everett working on Daredevil, or Jack Kirby, or Steve Ditko. He's always so excited. John Romita, he'll tell you, oh, and he came up with this idea and it was so cool and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I remember him telling me this. So it's nice to see that. Yeah, he was a kid at the time. So he mentions, like, I didn't go out there having conversations like, hey, are you making sure that you're getting the credit that you deserve? He was like, I didn't know. No one thought any of this stuff was going to be worth anything. And he's like, but I was like, it was like 25 or 22 or something. Sure. And here he is doing this stuff. So in this transcription, he's like, no, I had a separate deal with the company. I never spoke to anyone about what their deal even was. I didn't feel like it was any of my business. And he's like, but I will sit here and tell you, yes, this guy contributed to that. Yes, this guy contributed to this. He came up with that idea. He came up with this idea. So it's really great. It's really cool to see people give credit where it's due. So
absolutely.
It's really nice. And, no one can ever take away from the original legends back there, man. And I'm pretty sure he's one of the only ones hanging out now. Stan Lee,
he's
he might be standing alone.
Yeah, Stan the man. Well, definitely, like you said, definitely rest in peace, Steve Ditko. Yeah. And but man, let's
throw him some love, though.
Absolutely. But man, let's tell we talked about the Penguin almost being killed. Well, possibly being killed. Talked about the legend Steve Ditko. But man, let's talk about another legend that we have on the list here.
You got it, man. About the legendary Joe Bob Briggs.
You know it, man. And the real headline to this title is that Joe Bob Briggs has officially broken the internet, or at least like the Shudder section of the internet. After 17 years, Joe Bob Briggs returned for The Last Drive-In, a 24-hour movie marathon that streamed on the Shudder network, which is owned by Amazon. And it was stated, or it was to start at 9 p.m. on Friday the 13th and run for 24 hours. And it was supposed to be a completely exclusive, just you had to watch it to be part of it. Well, the love for Joe Bob, like the people just poured in and they totally crashed the servers over there at Shudder. And man, like it was just, I think if you could see Joe Bob's face, he was probably very humble, that people were coming out and just.
It was probably like this. Like he was like, what's a Shudder? I don't know. I'm just joking.
But man, Joe Bob known for a lot of his other movie roles too. He was in Casino as I think it's actually labeled Dumb Cowboy. Like Pit Boss or whatever, Married with Children, Billy Way, what was it? or Wet Wipe. That's what it was, Billy Way Wet Wipe. And he was like, but just he was known for Monster Vision on TNT. I'm dying over here tonight.
I don't think you're thinking about wrestling either.
But it's really cool because for all the folks that missed the first bit of the marathon, Shudder just went and said, you know what? It was going to be an exclusive thing that you had to watch, but they said after it was all said and done, they were going to put it up on demand, and they did. One more quick story, though, before we get off of Joe Bob Briggs here. While they were having some technical difficulties, one lucky user was able to stay in and view it. So he said, you know what? I feel bad for all the fans that are missing it, that are yelling on Twitter and all that. So he started streaming it on Twitch for like 3 hours. So it was like, he was like, here, you can come watch it here. He knew he'd probably get in trouble, but he was like, no, I want people to see what they've waited 17 years for. So he stuck it out. Now, Shudder eventually fixed their issues, and then Twitch totally suspended that guy's account only for a day. But Joe Bob was so thankful that the guy did that. He went on Twitter and thanked him personally and said that he was going to get one of the limited edition shirts that they were giving away during the live feed. So
it's awesome, man.
Hey, one thing we have to say is we do a live feed every week, and technical difficulties are bound to happen. And, it's just the age we live in, And
yes, it's nice to see that even the big guys have to suffer with it sometimes, too. So.
But if you didn't see any of it, you could go and get on Shudder right now and watch the whole marathon, 24 hours of movies with Joe Bob and all his great commentary.
That's pretty awesome, man. What kind of movies did they do?
Oh, man, Reanimator was on there.
Oh, that's a good one.
Basket Case, Tourist Trap. That's like a pre-Friday the 13th kind of slasher, post-Halloween. So it was like right in the middle there. They did Hellraiser,
nice.
The Legend of Boggy Creek. And the last movie was called Pieces, which I had never seen. I know if any of the horror mafia are still in the house, they're going to be like, hey, put a hit out on that guy. What is he doing not seeing that movie? But, I watched it. And it was weird as hell. But what's nice is even though there's no commercials on Shudder, like every 15 minutes or so, they would just interject Joe Bob. And he would do it like he would on Monster Vision.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun because that was what was fun about watching those movies with them is he enhanced it. He told you about the actors and actresses and the technical stuff.
Did you ever see the which is a lot like what the Horror Mafia does now?
Yes,
that you can check out their podcast and they'll tell you about bits and pieces about movies and behind the scenes stuff and things like that. But do you remember they used to have? I think it might have been maybe on USA or something. But they used to have this like movie and a DVD show, and it was this guy and a girl, and they play a movie on TV. Of course, they'd edit it for TV.
Sure.
But then every commercial break, this guy and girl would tell you some funny thing.
Was it Up All Night? Yeah. USA Up All Night with Gilbert Gottfried?
No. Because it was, dude, it totally sucked. I remember watching it, and these people never told you anything cool or behind the scenes. They would always tell you about something super obvious that you just watched. I hated it. It was so dumb.
It was probably in that same vein as Joe Bob.
Yeah.
But he started off on the movie channel. So at first he was able to watch a lot of I'm sure some of it was still edited for time. But, they were, still the way he rated it was booze, boobs, and beasts. Those are the three things. And he'd have these lists of drive-in totals, like how many breasts were in the movie, how many heads getting chopped, and they did that.
But that's what I mean. That sounds really cool and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And the thing I'm talking about was It was like WWE PG. Like they sucked all the fun out of it.
Oh, that's
just, you know, it was like it seemed like the most sad, depressing thing. Like if you had nothing to do that night and were totally alone, you could watch a movie with these two people who didn't know anything about you or anything special about them. They were totally boring.
They did have an old segment on the other show where they would, you know, have this male girl come in and she'd bring Joe Bob like a letter, and sometimes you're like, oh, this is from some guy in prison, you know. Of course the show wasn't live back then, so it was, who knows if it was an actual letter, but you know, with the advent of the internet and all that good stuff, they actually had an ongoing chat room.
Oh, cool.
And people were able to submit you know, questions and stuff that he would answer during the feed, and James Rolfe, you know, the angry video game nerd, actually got on there and put in some stuff, and it was just really nice. You know, everyone was putting this real heartfelt stuff, and you could tell he's like, this is my last time doing it. I'm not doing it again. You know, but you could just tell that he was feeling so good that people were putting all the love, just like all you guys do every week for us. So thank you.
Yeah,
guys.
when you post down comments down here, we get a kick out of it, man. So thanks for joining us there. We got one last thing to tell you about, guys. Super exciting, super fun. It's in our backyard down there at the Movies of Lake Worth. They've got an exciting feature coming out July 20th. That's this Friday. Tell them what they're checking.
Oh, man. Another movie that was part of Joe Bob's marathon. I should have mentioned it, but I wanted to save the surprise for you guys. Sleepaway Camp. And one of the wildest things is Morbid Movies is giving us a free showing. So, man, you know, you could save your bucks and buy some of that awesome candy and popcorn that they have there.
Charleston Chew.
Oh, yeah, man. It kicks off at 9:30, so definitely get there early. I'm sure this one's going to be a packed house. But if you
pretty kick-ass hot dogs and popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
Too.
Yeah.
A lot of theaters skimp out and they give you this dumpy popcorn that they put some Faco butter crap on there. No, last time I was there, their popcorn's pretty kick-ass,
they're great. Yeah, Movies of Lake Worth down in Lake Worth. It's in a good area. You know, it's not, you know, like a big shopping center kind of deal. But, man, yeah, it's just such a good time. And if you've never seen Sleepaway Camp, man, what an interesting ending it has. It's one of the biggest twist endings in all of horror movies cinema.
One of my favorite things was you sent me this image to put on the show tonight, and the first thing I did was move it around because I was like, why'd you crop that guy's head out? That's the end of the poster. There's no head up there. It's like, oh, okay.
Yes, yeah, it's definitely going to be an interesting and yeah, like I said, really the last few seconds of the movie, everyone's going to be like, ah, you know, just because it's just classic, man. But definitely it was fun to watch with Joe Bob. That was actually where I actually got into the feed. You know, it's like the second movie, you know, finally the feed started working. I was able to finish up Sleepaway Camp. So definitely go down there and check it out with all the great cats of Morbid Movies.
No doubt. Tell them the Power Hour sent you. Why not? Let them know.
Oh, yeah. But hey, man, that's going to about wrap us up for PoDunk News. But hey, now it's time to have some fun with you guys on the second side. The After Hours.
You got it, guys. We're going to head out, and we are going to check it now for our awesome Ringside review game. Let's head back to the studio.
Oh, man. I mean, I am stoked, man. Awesome PoDunk News. You know, awesome crowd tonight, man. We're digging it. Everyone's digging the wrestling setup. We got some fun for you guys and maybe even some prizes for you guys.
Heck yeah. So, all right, so what do we want to do? Do we want to keep score for everybody and then give away a prize at the end?
Yeah, we could do that.
Do you guys want to do that? Yeah. You guys want to win something pretty cool? All right, we'll hook you up with some wrestling gear. Considering we just thought of it right this second, we don't know what it is, but we're going to get you something cool. It's going to be worth a couple bucks because we're probably going to have to buy it or something.
Wrestling gear? No, we're actually going to give them a pair of tights. You guys didn't know.
You have a singlet.
El Bandito is a former wrestler, and you'll win the El Bandito singlet.
I know. You'll win my knee pads that I used.
Oh, man.
So for wrestling, not those knee pads.
Mr. Fusion's in the house. I'm sure he knows a thing or two about knee pads. I mean, he was a wrestler, too.
Yeah. All right. So like I said, we got a Ringside Rewind, guys. All right, here's what we're going to do. You're going to earn points in 3 different categories. That's right, 3 different categories here. You got who, what, where, and when. Right? That might be 4. I don't know. You have a couple different chances to gain a point. So we're going to do it kind of like the Name That Game tournament style. So it should be super fun. So this is the setup, right? We're going to show an image. In the image, it's going to be a classic, legendary wrestling matchup from the WWE. We're going to try to keep it easy for the first time we're doing this. Right? It's all WWE stuff. When it comes up, we will have removed one of the 2 wrestlers. Kind of give you a little bit of a hint. You know, you'll get to see one of the guys there. All you have to do is name the missing wrestler right? And for bonus points, if you want to name what event it took place at, where that event took place, and when that event took place, you can win points for all those things. So what you want to give them like extra points for being the first to name the guy? Like they get 2 points for the guy and 1 point for everything else?
Sure, that sounds good.
All right, sounds good. All right, are you guys ready? We're going to start you off with a little bit of an easy one. All right, a little bit of an easy one.
Let them have it.
Bam. So who is the missing wrestler in this photo? Now, we're going to narrow it down pretty quick on this first one because, of course, there's not that many people that Hulk Hogan has to look up to.
Oh, yeah, man.
All right, Senior Boy, you're going to try to keep an eye on the comments.
Oh,
here?
yeah. Don't
I think
worry,
they come through your feed a little quicker than mine.
Sure. I've got close eyes on here. Oh, man, we got Sean S. saying the Black Hearts rule. Absolutely, man. Classic right there. Thanks for joining us tonight, Sean. Let's see.
Oh, man. Big Steve with his lightning fingers. I think he just snuck in there.
There you go, man. He's digging it in.
I know. I think we're running on a little bit longer of a delay than we usually do. So Chris Hall right behind him with Andre the Giant. WrestleMania 2 is not correct. But let's see. We'll put it up here for you. I think. Boom. There he goes. The Giant himself.
Woo. There you go, man. Hey, if you guys haven't checked out that Andre the Giant special on HBO, definitely go and give that a look. I don't think we've watched that together yet. No,
I haven't watched it at all yet. That's on HBO though, right?
Yeah.
I got to check that out. My Hulu has HBO on it. So.
Oh, Sean's jumping in there too, man. He said Andre the Giant. There you go.
Yeah, it wasn't the first WrestleMania either. See, that's the hard part is figuring out the where, when, and all that stuff. That's why that's only for bonus points. We're not going to hold up here all night for that sort of thing. But we got plenty of time to have some fun with this.
Yeah, when did this match take place?
All right.
Give you like another 10 seconds or so.
Yeah, the where and when stuff is hard. Maybe we'll just do what event. How about that?
There you go.
Because who's going to remember? 1954.
I was going to say Chris Hall might know where this took place.
Yeah, he might.
Oh, man. I think Big Steve may have gotten it.
Yeah, he just put 3, but we'll give him credit. We're pretty sure you mean WrestleMania 3. So there he goes. He still got it in. Yes, this was at WrestleMania 3, the epic showdown. This, of course, ends with Hogan doing the scoop slam on Andre, pulling his latissimus dorsi, his lat muscle, and just becoming a legend right then and there.
Oh, you know it, man. Yeah, and he knew for a little while there, he didn't know if Andre was going to let him slam him. Like I said, check out that documentary. It's so good.
Oh, man.
There you go. You definitely got to give Sean some points for that. Pontiac Silverdome. You got it,
definitely, man. Up there in Michigan, it was back in 1987, man. Hulk Hogan versus Andre the Giant at WrestleMania 3. So I'm glad you guys are having some fun with that. Like I said, we're on a bit of a delay, but Eric G snuck in with that 87. I think he got it before the timer went off, but before we showed the slide, I think he's in there for the 87. So if you want to jot him down, a little point for that, and we'll go ahead and we'll move on to the next slide. What do you think, Senior Boy?
Let's do it.
I know you haven't seen these slides either, man.
I know. I'm excited. Let's see it. It's a little harder.
Next up.
Oh, man, if you guys have been hanging with us all night, we may have given you a little hint earlier.
I know. I think Senior Boy actually called this one out by the event and everything. This one's got a little bit more help on the event, I think, than the last one did. But starting things off, who do you think this is that the Heartbreak Kid is coming down on right there?
Oh, yeah, man. Yeah, off the ladder.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? We should go to the big seg, right?
There you go. Oh, there you go. Yeah. Give them a nice full view.
All right, we'll give you guys just a couple seconds of the big close-up view there. We'll jump back to the studio here.
Oh, man. Big Steve is taking some he's calling them out tonight.
Oh, man. Did he sneak in there with another one? Razor Ramon.
WrestleMania 10 as well.
You got it. That WrestleMania 10 might have been a little bit easy. It just says it real big back there.
Oh, that's true. But hey, we'll give you guys about maybe 10, 15 seconds to try to guess where this one went down.
Heck yeah.
Little hint. It's the same place the first WrestleMania went down.
Oh, man. 10 years in the making it took him to get back around to this place. But totally epic, very popular sports arena. If you're not even familiar with the names of sports arenas across the country, like I said, we just want to kind of know what state it's in. But anything you got there. But this, it wasn't the first ladder match, because wasn't their first ladder match the one at SummerSlam?
No, I'm pretty sure this one kicked it off. I think this was the first ladder match in the WWE.
Okay.
Now, there was other ladder matches
Yeah.
in other federations, but I think this was the first.
Well, I know these two also did a ladder match at a SummerSlam one time. So I think they did, right? Didn't they?
I'm pretty sure they had a rematch.
Okay, maybe that was the rematch then that I'm thinking of.
Oh, man, Big Steve again, Madison Square Garden.
No doubt.
Now, be honest with us, Big Steve. Did you know that, or did you go look that up?
I think he just gets our feed faster because he lives so close to our studio here, because he's here in the same city. Everyone else is like, damn it.
I see Mikey's joined us. I know he's a big wrestling fan. We're playing a game here, Mikey. If you can guess the missing wrestler in these photos, we'll throw you down for some points. We just had this classic match, which I'm pretty sure we've watched together at one point or another. But, man, what do we got a couple more to go through here.
We do. So this one was at Madison Square Garden. Steve Z also threw that out there back in 1994, WrestleMania 10, the classic matchup, Shawn Michaels versus Razor Ramon. It looks like Mike is also letting us know that, yes, Mania did come first, and then SummerSlam was the rematch later. So, Shawn, yes, you got it, buddy. Big New York, man. Can't beat it. Steve Z says, no, I have this on VHS.
Oh, trust me, I wouldn't doubt you, buddy. I was just like, let's see. I know, Big Steve's a very fair player. He likes to let everyone have a chance.
No doubt. All right, guys, but these are going to get a little tougher now. Those two were kind of easy. All right, you're going to get a little bit tougher. Not much, but a little bit. Next up, we got this one here.
Oh, man.
Check this one out.
Ooh, who's missing in this one?
Yeah. Now this, I'll be honest, I've never seen this match, and I was like, what? That looks awesome. I have to go back and see this. How on earth did I miss this?
We'll have to see. Who is this? I mean, can we say who that other wrestler is there?
Yeah, that's definitely the Undertaker.
Okay, so you definitely got Undertaker.
Yeah, and it looks like he's getting overtaken right there.
Let's see what if you guys can name the missing wrestler and the type of match that this is.
Oh my gosh, Steve Z out there with the thunder.
He's tearing it up.
He is, man. He's calling it out as Kane.
Catherine D's like, Macho Man? If Macho Man was in this match, that would have been pretty awesome because it's the madness. But no, it was definitely Kane. Oh, and I see Mikey got it too. Bane.
I know. I think that's Eric G. just is used to writing so much Batman stuff that his phone auto-corrected it.
That's awesome. Well, what kind of match was this, guys?
Yes, that was the first On Fire Loses match, yes. But what was the name of that match? It had a really cool name. The event was Unforgiven. Steve Z just snuck it in there in the comments out there on pay-per-view. We'll go ahead and show you guys. There's Kane. Yoop.
Oh, there you go.
So what was the name of this match, guys? We'll give you an extra point if you can name what they ended up calling this match. It was at Unforgiven.
Yep, you got that. Unforgiven.
Oh, man. Steve, you're going to get some haters out there in the crowd.
Oh, man.
Mike is right behind you, though. The Inferno match.
Absolutely,
I think we should give both of them a point for that.
Yeah,
Mike was right on top of him. I know. KD's a Hell in the Cell, very close. Also an Undertaker first time ever match. So,
yes.
He kind of pioneered both of these types of matches.
Well, it's funny because, I think Japan's known for having the most deadliest matches. Sometimes they'll put guys in like pools of piranhas and hit each other with awesome. Fluorescent tubes. But man, setting somebody on fire. Now, one time, real quick, not to get off the point of the game, but like Sabu, Terry Funk, and a couple Japanese guys, they actually had a ring ropes on fire match. Yeah. They lit them, and the match only lasted a minute. It got so hot in the ring that they had to jump out, and they were literally pouring buckets of water on Sabu, Terry Funk, and a couple Japanese guys.
That's
because
crazy.
it got so hot because they had soaked the ropes in like kerosene and wrapped them, and it was just nuts, man.
Mike says Steve types too fast. It's not fair.
Steve has a 20-second penalty on the next.
So we got the Undertaker and versus Kane up at Unforgiven in 1998. That was actually in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Wow. Okay, there you go. Greensboro, North Carolina.
Yeah. So who says nothing cool ever happens in North Carolina? There you go. You know, or wrestling wise, I don't mean to dump on North Carolina. You know?
Look at Chris's comment down there. Do you see that one?
Taker equals casket match, buried alive match.
Well, Chris says, hey, give me some comic trivia and I'll kick everybody's ass.
I believe it, buddy. I believe it. But all right, let's move on to the next one here. I'm going to give it half a second. Look, our internet looks all goofy down there.
Okay.
All right. Okay, there it goes. Back to green. So let's check out the next slide here. Again, these it's up to you if you think they're easy or not. Let's check it out.
Here we go.
Yoink. Check out this guy.
Oh, yeah, definitely got.
It's Earl Hebner. I know that.
Earl Hebner's definitely there.
Head referee.
Absolutely. Yeah, we got the Hitman.
You got it.
Classic pink tights there. But who's got the Hitman in a headlock there, or maybe more like the throat grab, like picking him up.
Yeah, might be choking him a little bit there.
This is probably off of like my favorite event. I was about to say what it was. I would have spoiled one of the.
Sorry, guys. Look, we're playing a game here, and the video's getting all crappity on you guys. We're getting some Bob Briggs interference. Can't be helped. Can't be helped. Oh, Rafiki's a good guess. I think Steve Z got you though.
Dang, that's actually a really good guess.
It is because I think they're related, aren't they?
They are. Yeah, they're cousins. Yeah. So, yep, it looks like Big Steve over there. Got it. He got Yokozuna. And I think he.
Oh, he's even in there with WrestleMania 9.
Dang, Big Steve.
Now, who knows the interesting fun fact about the winner of this match?
Yes.
I know Senor Bull knows, right?
I know. Giving them a chance.
Yeah, go ahead and put it in the comments if you know what cool thing happens at the end. Well, I don't know. Some people thought it was cool. Some people didn't. But what surprising thing happened at the end of this match?
Chris Hall just asked, is that the guy that sits on people's faces?
That was Rafiki.
Rikishi, yes.
Oh, Rikishi,
yes.
Rafiki's the monkey from The Lion King.
She always calls him that.
That's awesome.
But, there you go. Look,
yeah.
Mikey's letting this one out. He's like, yes, absolutely. After Yokozuna beat Bret Hart, I'm pretty sure it was like a shady win, too.
It was more like Hogan won. You know, like these two fought and Hogan walks out the champion, and you're like, what?
Well, I know Yokozuna did pin Bret Hart with the bonsai drop, but then Hogan came out. They probably, Mr. Fuji probably went in there and did like, oh, you beat anyone, anyway. And then Hogan came out.
Anytime, any place. And he's like, all right now. Boom. So that was the first ever Money in the Bank cash.
There you go.
But all right, guys, do you know where this happened, where WrestleMania 9 was? Anybody want to take a shot at that?
That's a good question.
I mean, it's obviously outside. You can see some clouds in there. I'll throw this back up on the big screen so you guys can see it. So it's outside, looks nice and bright out. That's why I thought some people might think it was SummerSlam because they usually do that outside. But yeah, WrestleMania 9 they did outside. And it seems like every time they do a show here, it's always outside. So what do you guys think? Any guesses? I know we're on that delay still because we got a little frozen.
Yeah.
So we'll give you guys a minute. We'll talk amongst ourselves.
Absolutely. Well, like I said, man, this was definitely one of my favorite WrestleManias because I think that it was like the first one that I watched live. Like,
Gotcha.
Years earlier and stuff, I watched a lot of wrestling with my brother and my dad, but like this was like the first one that I was like, hey, we got to rent it, and
yes.
My dad spent whatever it was, $35,
and you guys watched it.
We watched it.
That's
awesome, and it was just
man.
Such a, for being like a younger kid and stuff, and having that ending,
yes.
That classic Hogan ending. I know by this time probably a lot of the the marks and stuff were tired of Hogan coming in and doing his thing at every WrestleMania. Because you got to imagine, from even one, he was in the main event, almost pretty much the whole time he was there. He was always
this is 9 years later, and that's still happening. So, yeah, we've got a bunch of people down here. I'm pretty sure Mike and Steve Z are also both getting an extra point. Steve Z says Vegas. It absolutely was Las Vegas. And Mike says Chaser's Palace, Caesar's and Caesar's Palace. He got there, so.
Oh, we got Sean nailing the Nevada. Yes,
there you go.
Yes,
we got all parts of where this went down, so all three of you guys will get an extra point there. So good job, guys. Definitely Caesar's Palace out there in the beautiful Las Vegas, guys. They always seem to do the outside shows there, which are just awesome.
Absolutely. And it was a Roman-themed WrestleMania, too, which I think was what a lot of other people don't like about it. It was so kind of hokey. It was like, even though it was in the 90s, it was like the last of the...
Yeah, doesn't it seem like WrestleMania 10 in 94 was like that change into the Attitude Era, like when Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels did the ladder match we showed earlier. And this was 93. This was 1 year earlier, and it seems totally hokey. Hogan still winning. Yokozuna's just sitting on people out here.
Crush still looked like some dude from South Beach or whatever before he came back as a biker. Doink the Clown was actually in a match at WrestleMania. Who puts Doink at a WrestleMania?
I don't know, man. But hey, all right, this is our last slide of the night, guys. We're packing it in for the ringside review, but we've got this last one for you. This one to me, I just thought was so cool. It's one of my favorite ever matches right here. So let's check it out.
Oh yeah.
Bam. All right, now we're gonna pull this one up big because, dude, this is obviously Mankind in handcuffs, just getting the crap kicked out of him. So who goes around putting Mankind in handcuffs and then just beating him?
Oh man!
What kind of wrestler would do a thing like that, huh?
I think we went a little too off the reservation there. Everyone's Mikey's like, remember Adam Bomb? No, absolutely, man. I think that was Bryan Adams. I think he went off later to become, or maybe that was Crush. I can't remember all the.
Isn't Bryan Adams a singer?
Well, yeah, but there was also a wrestler.
Yeah.
Right, Primetime Brian Lee.
Oh man, Mike is not. He is not waiting on this one, man. He is in there with The Rock and the I Quit match.
Wow.
Absolutely called it, bro. Devastating, awesome match between The Rock and Mankind / Mick Foley / Cactus Jack / Dude Love, right? Two Hall of Fame legends. They're both in the Hall of Fame, right?
I don't think
The Rock's
I don't think The Rock's
in
in there yet. Yeah,
well, he's going to get there. Whatever.
Yeah,
Future Hall of Famers, we'll call it that. But the good guess on the Big Boss Man, though, because he was a cop. He would have had handcuffs.
There you go.
Yeah, they said 11 chair shots The Rock gave Mick Foley, covered his face in blood by the end of this match. His wife and kids were in the arena watching ringside and walked out because the kids were losing it.
It was so horrific.
Yeah, they were terrified that he was mutilated. Great, some behind-the-scenes documentary stuff on this. Really great if you get out there and find it. Does anyone remember where this I Quit match happened? What do you think? Do you remember, Senior Bull?
I mean, I know the time frame, but where it actually... Yeah. I have no clue.
Oh, Big Steve snuck in there. I think he did look this one up. He's saying Royal Rumble 1999.
Oh, I see Mikey threw down 98. Royal Rumble 98. Oh, man.
It was the Royal Rumble 1999.
Oh, what? Oh, okay. So it was 99.
Yep.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. Big Steve called it, man. And Foley's kids were there. We should give Mike an extra point for that.
Well, definitely the like you said, that I know that was one of those times where Foley even said, maybe I went a little too far.
Yeah. But he was pretty cool. They show him coming backstage, and he's trying to talk to his kids, and he's like, I just got a boo-boo. It's just one little boo-boo, but it bleeds a lot. Don't worry about me. I'm fine. So that was really, really pretty interesting to watch some of the behind-the-scenes stuff you can find on YouTube and all nowadays. And yes, it was out there in Anaheim, California, Big Steve. I already showed the slide, though. I ain't giving you much of that.
Oh, Sean Barber's in the house. How's it going, Sean?
Hey, what's going on? Thank you for all the love and all the attention you've given us, man. We've had several people contact us courtesy of you, so we appreciate it. And we will try to get to them, all of them. You know, we know we've sent some correspondence back and forth, and I hate to keep anybody hanging, but you know how it goes, man.
All right,
but
man.
all right, man. Yeah, that's going to wrap it up for the Ringside Rewind, man. If you guys had some fun, make sure to drop us, throw a like down there, throw a love down there. Make sure to share the video. Let people know that you won and you kicked butt and did a good job. Senior Bull's tabulating up the totals right now to figure out who our winner for tonight is. And we'll shoot you guys off a cool prize, man. I'm sure it'll be something neat, a T-shirt or something. I don't know.
Absolutely.
It's like
man.
a chainsaw, something cool.
A chainsaw. A chair that was bashed into mankind's head.
There you go. I'm going to take this chair and just bash you in that with it. We'll nail that.
That's awesome, man.
All right. But, yeah, guys, we hope you had some fun. Like we said, make sure to share and like the video. Join us every week right here, Monday night, 9 p.m. Next week, we're going to have a lot of fun, but I totally don't remember what we're doing. Oh, we're doing the review of the San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh, yeah.
Because they're kicking that thing off, I think, at the end of this week sometime.
Yes.
And then it'll be running all through next week, so we're going to catch you guys up. Pretty much doing a big news segment next week about all of that. So it's definitely going to be some comic heavy topics going on next week. Going to be a super ton of fun, guys. But thank you guys so much for joining us here. It looks like Senior Bull is still tabulating, so I'll keep trying to jaw jack for a little bit.
Keep going.
But, yeah.
I like when you jaw jack.
I see Sean says, I met Mick Foley in Calgary. Nice dude. And The Rock played football with the Calgary Stampeders. Absolutely, man. He got in the CFL for a number of years there. But I don't think he stayed very long. If I read his autobiography, and if I remember it right, he was pretty much like, wow, this is not the superstar NFL lifestyle for sure up in the Canadian Football League. But ICP was also a big member of the WWE there for a little bit and had a lot of fun. Was part of the oddities. Steve Z, you're totally right, sir. So, yeah, that's super fun to see ICP anywhere and seeing the juggalos and juggalettes. And, yeah, personal kind of thing. These juggalettes are so hot. I always feel like they totally hate me and be like, dude, you're the weak ass, softest bitch I ever seen. But they do it for me. I don't know.
Man, I gotta tell you, a funny little fact about ICP is that they they knew Rob Van Dam and Sabu before they were actually wrestlers.
Gotcha.
Well, I guess we could say that they got their start with Rob Van Dam and Sabu, like when they were kind of, they're all from Michigan. Okay. Even though Sabu's billed from Bombay, India, more like Bombay, Michigan, But so it's like that's how they kind of got their foot in the door. Is of course Rob Van Dam and Sabu went off to be part of ECW. ICP did their thing. And then, later on, they were kind of like, hey, man, like, how's it going, guys? And they said, why don't you guys come on down to Philadelphia and we'll kick the crap out of you. We know you know how to take a bump because you guys were wrestling with us back in the day. And I think that's what really got them in there is they were like, hey, man, these guys already know how to fall and take the hit. So they got into ECW, and then WWF at the time was like, oh, let's get those guys here. They performed that theme song and stuff for them. So, and that was at the height of their career. I mean, no doubt about it. The Great Malenko had just come out. The Jekyll Brothers may have been on its way. But either way, they've always been synonymous with pro wrestling as part of their side gig.
Oh, totally, man. Steve Z says they actually own their own wrestling company now, the JCP, which I'm going to take a shot. Say Juggalo Championship Wrestling.
Yes. Oh, Mikey down there, he says, I used to be a Juggalo, definitely not no more. I remember those days, man. Absolutely.
I like the way Mike put down there, though, that he said, if I win, and then put like a star. Is that like a threat? I don't know what that means. If you win what?
I mean, I know Mikey might revert back to his Juggalo days.
That's what I'm worried about.
I might find a dead cat in my mailbox.
He's going to throw a ninja star at us or something.
Well, the numbers have been tabulated.
All right.
And by 1 point, I do have to congratulate him. Mikey is the winner.
Oh, nice. There you go, man. Snuck in there with one of them bonus points you got of those extra hard questions. Big Steve, you're definitely second place, but you're always number one in our hearts. I'm going to show both gentlemen some love right here. Thank you guys for hanging out with us, and we're definitely going to get an awesome prize to Mikey out there, man. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. It's a super ton of fun. Like I said, maybe next week we'll show off the prize before we give it away.
Oh, absolutely. We got some cool stuff in mind. I like Chris Halsting comment here. He says, "Who didn't pay the internet bill tonight?"
Well, I think Steve Z's hacking my internet. That's how he's getting them answers so quick.
But no, we're just giving Joe Bob Briggs some extra love. We wanted to show him that even here at the Power Hour, we do have to occasionally deal with all that craziness. But definitely, guys, thank you so much. It's been a blast hanging out with you guys tonight, talking wrestling, talking classic stuff. We love it. You guys seem to love it. We love you guys. Thank you.
Absolutely. We'll be here next week with some Comic-Con news and action-packed comic episode. Maybe we'll even play a comic game.
Give
out some fun comic stuff. Who the heck knows?
Give the people what they want.
No doubt. But there's only one way you're going to find out, and that's if you're right here next week, 9 p.m. on Facebook Live with us.
Oh, yeah, man. Well, Bandito, it's been an awesome night, and we'll catch you guys next week, Monday night at 9 p.m. Yeah.